Okay, so I keep meaning to do this live and putting it off because I need to do it when the kids aren't around, really, because of what comes up. And so we're going to continue with our next instalment of Tao Tantric Arts for Women. Now, Cultivating Sexual Energy, Love and Spirit, Milk Divorce, forwarded by Maka Chia. Where did we get to? So when we last left off, we were on page 26, but I'm going to go back a little bit. So Wei Chi, should we start here? Yeah, feminine and masculine treasures, because this come up today as well with, yesterday I feel with the talk of the bilateral crossovers, we were talking about from a different perspective, but I think it relates to this, the masculine and the feminine, and what's going on, and what I was just kind of pulling through and advised to share at the moment. But it's not about the masculine and feminine within the man and woman, it's that within us and cultivating that. So when we talk about our sovereignty and our self-sovereignty, we're connecting to that. We need to first connect to our own masculine, feminine, and I don't just mean the left and right on the physical level, on the cellular level, and in the emotional, like the aspects of the personality. I mean on a deeper level of that beyond the sex. And I don't or when I say the word sex, I mean like whether you identify with being masculine or feminine. So anyway, but I'm going to start with this. So female and masculine treasures. The dance of yin and yang, and this refers to a little bit more. So holding your male side with your female side, holding your bright side with your dull side, holding your bright side with your low side, then you will be able to hold the whole world. This is the key to being in your sovereignty, is what it translates as. You get it? When the opposite forces unite within, there comes a power abundant in its giving and unerring in its effort. Lao Tzu, Tai Ti Ching, Tai of Virtue, verse 26. It's quoted. Right. So, Wei Chi is the ultimate emptiness, the pregnant void with the potential for everything to arise. The heart of Taoist cosmology is the I can't pronounce this. So the dyslexic reading the book, and all my ego comes up there. Cycling between the unmanifesting Wei Qi and the manifest Tai Chi, between Tai in stillness and Tai in movement. With the continuous dance of yin and yang refer to the light and dark sides of the mountain. The universe can be seen as a dance of polarity between these two energies. One is not better or worse than the other. But what isn't said here is there's a third, the observer. So you need the three, even though we mentioned the two, there's always three. We need both for the world to go around. The table between describes the core essence of these polar but complementary opposites. So when things are in balance, okay, so these are the attributes of what are associated in the traditional Chinese medicine, attributes of the yin and the yang, of what they refer to as masculine and feminine in there. So this is kind of like, think of it as a key and a puzzle. Okay, so it's giving you a lot of information, but then there's the missing piece that only you can unlock. Okay, you being the key behind me. It's how we cultivate our own energy. That's important to know, to add. Okay. Anyway, so I'm going to list through. So essential yin is earth, essential yang. I'm going to list them. So the first word I say is on one side of the column, the second on the other. Right, I'm going to read through these. So we got earth, heaven, moon, sun, water, fire, stillness, movement, life force or Shakti or consciousness and Shiva, flow, form, cool, warm, passive, active, inward and deep, outward and surface, contracting, expanding, dark and night, light and day, descending, ascending, slow, fast. The essential feminine and the essential masculine. Fullness, emptiness, sensual, mental, body, mind, everything, nothing, being, purpose, receptive, penetrative, nurturing, protective, chaos, spontaneous or order and focus, subtle, direct, surrender, control. Again, continued with essential, feminine and masculine. Sustained, initiate, radiate, integrate, cooperative, competition, emotional, rational, expansive, expressive, witness, colourful, simple, inviting, directing, social, solitude, communing with nature, conquering nature, thrive and praise, thrive on challenge, process, orientate, goal orientate, vagina, penis, soft and curvy, hard and angular. Feminine and masculine essences, and think about in terms of those questions when we went through them, or those attributes, and how they are playing out in possibly in your personality, within you, within dynamics in relationships, and culturally and globally. And there's a lot of information there. There's a lot to think about there, to take in how we can rebalance. Within each of us, the goals of both feminine and masculine energy in every moment, the flow itself is the feminine aspect, while your awareness of the flow and the way you direct it are masculine aspects. These are different yet inseparable. What makes you feel happy? What qualities would you call a good day? A man or woman? I did turn that off. Just suddenly had a thought, because when that's sometimes the sound like, sorry, distraction. If we have, where do we get to? What makes you happy? What qualities would you call a good day? A man or a woman with a feminine essence would delight in activities like cooking or dancing. If we have a developed masculine capacity, we might feel proud at accomplishing a goal. Rather than seeing this as stereotyping, I'd like to see this as a palette of human expression that we can artistically play with to bring more popular and spice into our relationships. We need polarity for sexual attraction. The second part of the table above shows how yin and yang are expressed within each of us as a masculine and feminine aspect. The chart also shows that the masculine and feminine thrive. So the chart is those words we just read through in our relationships. Often yin craves yang. The deep dark part of our feminine self longs for fullness, colour and radiance. In a similar way, the masculine part of ourself within light craves the deep inward meditative stillness needed to nurture itself. You can also use this understanding to recognise qualities that you may have lost along the way. As children, many of us covered up qualities that the adults around us disapproved of. As we peeled off the shells of our conditioning, we can reclaim feminine and masculine aspects of ourselves that we might have rejected long ago. For example, have you ever heard, "Be still, be quiet, be a good girl"? You may have become a rebel girl in reaction. As you mature, you start to become your authentic self. You can respond spontaneously with any of the qualities on this chart. Your gifts are unlimited and multifaceted. I hope this will help you recognize and appreciate the ways that your masculine and feminine gifts play out in the world. Playing with sexual polarity. Many women cultivate their masculine capabilities of planning, ambitious, and getting things done. It is crucial that they remain able to switch polarities continuously in order to maintain their own health, well-being, and relationships. If you live a concrete, rushed lifestyle, for instance, and find yourself being bossy, pushy, and sharp-tongued, you will benefit from being able to shift at will into a feminine polarity. You can imagine, for example, that you are on a tropical island like Hawaii, warm and luscious. Perhaps play some flowing music, relax, and move your hips like the ocean. You will feel sexy and enjoy your own body and movement. The feminine brings us out of our head and into our body. Receptively and present. There is a corresponding tension for every thought. Actually, I want to just interject in here. So one of the things we did with our coordinator, had us doing in Egypt, was working with the destruction energy and the creation energy. So we worked with what we were naturally drawn to. For me, that was the creation energy. And my partner, for example, who I ended up with, we kind of did I wouldn't do it here, but we could do it if we were in person in workshop. Kind of felt our way with eyes closed to who we naturally were drawn to by polarity. And the other lady that happened to be for me had a very destruction energy, and I had a very creation energy. And then we played with that energy by making shapes, or me creating shapes, her destroying those shapes, and vice versa. And then we had to switch that polarity. So understanding that dynamic of our energy through a kinetic movement. So it's something you can play with the kids, even get them to make the shapes, get them to do this at home. You could do this with your partner on a dance floor. You can have a play with this when you're out. Just have fun with it and feel into what it feels like to create something, but letting go of them when it's destroyed. Obviously you can't get, you've destroyed my shape. I'm holding my arms like this and you're pulling them apart. It's a kinetic. You want to feel the flow of that and how that works. Felt amazing to connect and to understand how that flow of energy can work in that dynamic. I thought that was adding news. There is a corresponding tension for every thought. Simple ways to become more receptive and relaxing your jaw, muscles and joints, softening your eyes, unclenching the base of your body, become a listening vessel. We do this in Qigong naturally. And breath in that which you are receptive to. Presence requires relaxation along with structure. So, I mean, we use the structures of the things that are like the brocades, for example, follows the motions and the anime of the animals, and each of that is brought in. Same with the yoga, and it's all those postures and structures are to create that flow of the energy in a certain way, and that release and tension, and to build energy. Presence requires relaxation. That's important thing, key, I think, of understanding. Along with structure, aligning yourself with heaven and earth, and actually to do that, one back to center, one back to center is just a simple way you can do that. I've got to add that. Presence, earth allows you to be totally there and present. Witness the other without judgment. Be conscious of your breath and your heart. Now, I have on my channel, on my YouTube channel, 30 days of observing and connecting. I highly recommend, especially if you're new to meditation, and even if you're not new to meditation, you take that 30-day challenge. There's a video for each one, but if you pick one, you can do that 30 times, whatever works for you. But what we do in those videos is we connect to self, we witness without judgment whatever's coming up for us, the flow of our emotion, the flow of our thoughts, and whatever's happening in the body, but we release the judgment of that. And getting practiced at that is a really important tool. So, and it's free, it's on my channel, it'll be on one of your lists on the members site. In fact, I think I will release these. These were originally, when I was reading through this, because I thought the content would be possibly stuff that might be put aside. But I feel that so far this seems like it's needing to be heard now. It's important. No wonder they drew me to do it. Right, so where did we get to? And breathing with the heart. So any heart-centered practice, which you may be familiar with as well. True and false, yin, true and false, yang. False is a limited or contracted expression of our unlimited true nature. Both true yin and true yang are heart-centered, and heart-centered is their balance point. False yang is head-centered. The head becomes overheated and the heart becomes cool. False yin is belly-centered and heart becomes overheated and emotional as the belly and the sexual waters become cool or frozen with fear. So you see this with people, and there's this expression, and I'm going to bring this up because I know people have been thinking, you think, oh God, that woman needs a bit of, because there's a frozen actor, so she gets angry quickly, because the balance of the emotional field is completely off. That's what happens, and you see that coming up. So you need to kind of clear that out as to the opposite of that, where there's not enough, and you need the fire to come up to melt the ice. So these are important aspects to understand. And I'm not referring this to you looking at everyone else going, oh, that person does that. Yes, that will happen naturally. But what I mean is to mirror that, to see where you do that yourself on a self-reflective point. So the heart becomes overheated and the emotions as the belly, as the sexual waters become cool or frozen with fear. When women live primarily in the emotional heart rather than in the soul heart, and there is a difference. So someone might say they're very, I'm really heart person, but they are very emotional. That's off balance. That's not soul heart focus. That's the difference. They are led by emotions that are particularly rather practical rather than by unconditional love and compassion. So when we truly connect, and which is what every day I hope I try to do for myself and I try to do in our classes on a daily basis, for us to connect to the frequency of true compassion and true heart frequency. And it is a 432 hertz, I think. I'll have to look that one up because I can't remember if I'm switching my numbers back, because it's important actually, because a lot of, and actually this was mentioned recently, a lot of music, I find it really, we're in the car driving, a song comes on, I say, oh, that's hurting my ears, he's like, what's wrong with you? Because music since the 50s has been toned to a different setting, and some of it now I'm really sensitive to, and I believe lots of you that are viewing this are becoming sensitive to frequency and sound, and understanding that actually where before that would just work, we tuned that out and we've kind of just gone la 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 and not heard it because it was too much. Now we're hearing again with subtle energy. We can't actually listen to things that aren't in that soul heart frequency because we can feel it. It's disconcerting. You become quite sensitive, and actually people. But when you're in the heart, soul heart frequency, you're then able to view with compassion. So even the people that may feel like you didn't want to be around before, you see them in a different light, and your frequency, it doesn't touch you in the same way. You just see it through forgiveness and the eyes of love and compassion. It's important to understand that every male body and every female body has within the challenge of balancing the yin and the yang force flowing within. Some women may have an extremely yang nature, and some men may have an extremely yin nature. The important issue is whether a person's energy flow is dominated by true yin or yang, or false yin or yang. False yang manifests as personal will and control, while false yin leads to submission and victimhood. So if you're identifying with being a victim, that's an indication. If you see yourself as a victim rather than that thing that happened to me is a powerful teaching tool and growth tool and the experience, so you turn it around when you're in the other energy, is my point. And that would be key to understanding yourself when you're viewing this through loving eyes. And also, don't get judgmental with yourself. Really let go of that. Another good book for that is Judgment Detox by what's her name? Gabby Bernstein. So under the domination of the practical grip, the water yin becomes frozen. At the time in history, women are becoming liberated, and with this emergence, new chi is awakening. The true water wants to flow and be warmed by the true fire. The spiritual journey is from the personal to the transpersonal level, moving from false masculine and forced feminine chi towards the divine masculine, divine will, and divine feminine, divine surrender. So it's in key to surrendering to the divine and surrendering to divine will. And always I would add an extra layer in there, putting that surrender and that will, not just to these levels, which there will be other layers of energies. You want that to go with the intention straight to the divine, as in creation energy, from the very source of creation. Feminine and masculine spiritual practices. The feminine spiritual practices are devotional, embodied, and celebratory. They may include singing, dancing, chanting, celebrating, sensation, feasts, healing others, circles from sharing, compassionate services, and communicating with nature, communing with nature. In contrast, the masculine spiritual practices are focused on higher consciousness, awareness, witnessing, and mindfulness. They may include self-observation, which I was saying about, stillness, meditation, empathy, emptying the mind, no distractions, the mountain meditation, which we do every day. So hands come down into the ground. We ground that with the energy of the feminine drawing in. Zen-like artistry and discipline and inquiry, so the inquiring mind. Self-expression through the fire element. Out of yin and yang are born the fire elements, the fire tendencies of energy. Fire rises, water sinks, wood expands, which we are in at the moment as I'm recording this. Metal solidifies, and earth is stabilizing and centering. How are the 5 elements expressed in your life? You might express fire with your creative flair and flaming enthusiasm for life. Well, you guys know where mine is. Water with your deep feeling and sensuality. Wood with your enjoyment of walking in the forest and dancing. Metal with your sharp, discriminating mind and self-reflection. And earth with cooking a delicious meal, or gardening. All things I've done, in fact, I've done all of each of those today, so that's good. Feminine archetypes. I honour the maiden, wild woman, mother, healer, and wise woman within me. Many different feminine qualities exist within the feminine essence. By exploring virtuous archetypes of the feminine, we can express a fuller range of our divine essence. Archetypes of the season. The cycles of women's life turn with the wheel of yin and yang. As we pass through the seasons of our life, we pass through 4 archetypes. Spring, we emerge into our maiden aspect. The virgin or maiden is associated with innocence, youthfulness, birth of new life, and finding boundless. Her chi is uprising and buoyant. Summer, as energy builds into full yang, we step into the wild woman aspect. Our full and blooming nature, the wild woman dances with wild, spontaneous energy. The lover or wild woman is associated with expansive expression, adventure and romance and ecstasy. And autumn, after the wildness, we may choose to channel energy into motherhood, creating or healing. We become the archetype of the mother, healer, and the creatrix, who is associated with channeling energy into manifestation, healing, and transformation. Winter, drawing our energy into our core, we become the wise woman or crone, who is associated with extracting the essence out of the experience in the form of wisdom. The blood stops flowing out, meaning menstruation, stays within and returns to the heart. In order to nourish spiritual development, the wise woman holds the inner secret and mysteries. The ultimate dissolving into the yin is to pass through the space between worlds, to leave this physical body and enter the spirit world. The wise woman knows the way, supporting the eternal cycles of life and the immortal seed of life within. Individually, women may embody one type more than the other. On the journey through the great wholeness, we can play with stepping into the shoes of other archetypes. Men are naturally hunters, and they hunt, or at least notice different flavours of feminine. If you embody these different flavours yourself, this nourishes the men in your life. It also adds spice to a possible flat, boring life. The full spectrum goddess. Chorus of the song. Yes, I'm full spectrum goddess. So many flowers that no man can guess. The verse. I've got a wise woman in my bones. Her ancient roots stem beyond the known. I've got a sweet girl in my smile. Her joyful heart shines for miles and miles. I've got a warm mother in my womb, creating life from moon to moon. I've got a sexy lover in my blood. Her passion swells in blissful floods, ending so many flowers, so many flowers, so many flowers. Only goddess can guess, only goddess can guess, only goddess can guess. The woman's role, dancing and drama. The dance, it's to go into, whether to leave it, where to take it to. Right. Oh, can I take it for the next page? We'll leave it. We'll move up. We'll go to the stage of the woman. The dance drama is a wonderful way to embody some of the many feminine archetypes. You could approach the gestures in the same way you would try to dress that pushes your edge. Notice which roles feel undeveloped or out of your comfort zone. Great expressive energy builds when a group of women move in a circle together. The feminine arts stems from virtues like love, compassion, strength, and authenticity. The positive response is profound. When they arise from shadowy, distorted energy, they will have the opposite effect from the desired result. When a woman flaunts her flirtatious talents to manipulate or her neediness to demand attention, she will only repulse her partner. If she is nagging, he will not listen. When out of balance with self-love, devotion can become suffocating to a partner. So devotional longing. I long for your presence. I bow to my beloved and fill my heart. Reach up the alternative hands. So this is like kind of swaying, this movement of the body when you're dancing and you're connecting to that aspect of yourself. Reach up. We do this with the wood element, and I'll introduce some of this as well to reference this. Reach up with alternative hands, showing yearning with your whole body for the qualities you long to connect with. Bow with devotion, gathering your chi from the earth to replenish the heart. So when you naturally do this, I didn't know how to do that, but on 7/7 it wouldn't let me go live when I was trying to record a workshop up on the hills, on the downs, and I had this profound moment which I spoke about where I was connecting to this like Isis energy, and Horus the bird flowed around, and naturally I had to move my body, and it was this devotion and bowing in gratitude to my body, to the divine, to the essence that is life, and connecting. And you naturally do that. Those movements were what I was actually doing without knowing. It was naturally flowing through. So when the energy is flowing, it naturally will occur. You'll know how to move. It just is instinctive. So the first flirtatious invitation, come, just come, just come, catch me if you can, catch me if you can. But remember that if there is neediness in her flirting, I need you, give me attention, you will only repulse men. So it's about being in awareness of this. I'm not saying go out and like all women are like that and all women, if there's someone, it's about understanding that self-discovery of where you are at in your own relationships and where you need to come out of your shell or where you don't, maybe aware and knowing. And actually, in actual fact, I remember I saw an Instagram post, I think it was Aaron Doughty saying, you know, like, love, if you're asking for your soulmate, all the time you're looking for your soulmate, you're not going to find them. They just come to you naturally when you are embodying, when this masculine, feminine energy is linked, because you're not looking, because it's there, and that's what you're attracting, someone that's also in their own space, in their own sacred, sovereign self. So cool with your arms and hips, then move away like a mermaid from a sailor, wavering the towel behind you. So they're romantic and loving. I'm in love with you, you're in love with me, living life is true, we dance in harmony. Hold one hand to your heart and the other hand to your imaginary partner's heart. You can actually physically do this. You put your with your partner, so you put your hand there's a workshop in the Patreon where we were actually doing this practice. So you're putting your heart, and we go through the circuit of what you do with the breathing and connecting in your heart coherence first with yourself and then with a partner. I'll put a link to that video in here for the members. I'll put it underneath where I've posted it on the Patreon site. And to be a member, you just need to be a subscriber, or you, I think it might be in the paid members bit, I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that, you have to look. Hold one hand to your heart and the other hand to your imaginary partner's heart. Dance a waltz, looking into each other's eyes, swirling and spinning around, becoming dizzy with love. Independent adventurer, cowgirl galloping slaps her behind with one hand, whilst the other hand swings a lasso. Yeehaw! She rides after him and gets too close. The challenging seduction. Give me space, take me if you dare. The right hand pushes away and the left hand sexily strokes over your body. Have you ever said, give me space, when you get too much distance? The challenge becomes how to bring back passion, attraction. The art is to feel free and also open to being ravished. So this, I find lots of people find this, and there's this dance, and it goes back again in relationships. So this comes up a lot in where people have talked about in friendships. Initiatrix awakening. Express your heartfelt concern for your partner with, hang on. Excuse me. I'm just live, guys. I'll be about 5 minutes, okay? Express your heartfelt concern for your partner when his or her path wobbles. It kills me to see you like this. Support your partner's highest destiny. Scene: the cowboy is drinking in the saloon and gets into a fight. Wake up, I love you. Stamp and rise your arms into the centre of the circle. Then turn to the left and open your arms from your heart. Speak out to your past lovers, present lovers, warriors, world leaders, and your inner masculine. Supportive, strong woman behind the man. I support you to follow your path. I support you to get on track. Speak with an uplifting gesture and get then a pushing forward as if behind his middle back. Feel the support of the woman behind you. Turn and bow with gratitude to all those beings who are supporting your path. The compassionate and forgiving. Embody the compassionate qualities of Kuan Yin with this dance. This one I love. Hold a pot in your left arm. With your right hand, spoon soothing healing waters out of the pot and onto the earth. Offer the water to parts of the world and yourself that are suffering. Face inward and scoop the healing waters from the cauldron, washing yourself and smoothing what may ally you. Chant Kuan Yin Pan San Kuan Yin, goddess of compassion and mercy. Her name means she who hears the cries of the world. Pun Sa means Bodhisattva, and Kuan Yin is the ultimate Bodhisattva who becomes to help those in suffering. The lover surrendering. I am cup, I am wine, I am lover in sweet surrender. Open your arms with a soft receptive chest. Press your hands over the chest forward. Ripple the passion up the body, rocking the pelvis and chest. Wash blissful chi over your crown and down front of the body with a soft chest and arms floating down like a wavery waterfall. Feel love, the lover and the beloved merge. Lover of life, beauty path. I see the beauty in all beings. I feel the grace in everything. Seeing the beauty in everyone and every being. Gestures and step to the right, then left, then circle to the right, gesturing and stepping to the left, then right, then circling to the left with a soft hand like a whirling Sufi dancer. Gratitude. Bow in gratitude to those attributes within yourself. And next time we'll work with the stages of women. Where's my bookmark on? Oh, there we go. So that was chapter, I don't know what chapter we're on, but we were from page 26 to 34.